have maybe a little bit of time to build on their synergies.
Yeah, I like what you're thinking here, and I also think that this team's not afraid, or at least from my understanding, Solaris is not afraid to play a little more maybe off-meta picks, and that kind of thing can help. We saw it with Schmungus, right? Over in the EMEA region, off-meta picks, things that maybe teams don't scrim against, can help. It's a strategy, right? It's something that can help drive your team to a W, as we see Ultron and Loki banned out instantaneously. Wow. Not who I would have expected by any means. They are going to lock in Ultron on their side when it comes to the side of Envy, so we are going to see that being played by potentially Nero, but I'm not sure, man. That's a unique, this might be the first time we've seen no Vanguards banned out off the rip.
Yeah, that is unique indeed, and I'll be curious to see what happens here with this protect phase. It's Magneto protected, so Ultron protect came out, and you can see that strategist focus coming through from Solaris. Is this going to be the new meta? Just going to ban out every single strategist, force Rocket, Mantis? No, Punisher ban this time around, and I'm curious if Solaris react to this, because I mean that's definitely targeted ban towards Gale.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little tricky here, because when you do maintain and keep Magneto, Cloak obviously gets a little more pressure, and then obviously, you know, if you're able to get Magneto on your side, the bubble could be helpful, but Cloak's value is when you negate some of those counters. Cloak obviously has some very large counters when it comes to things like Hawkeye, Iron Man, who's been seen a little more play, not today, but has seen more play, and Magneto as well, all putting a lot of pressure, but Cloak just gets that ultimate so quickly, you know, it's almost like a 2-to-1 when it comes to Magneto of the frequency, so it depends on how they're playing, but I like to see this little shift here. Punisher banned out, and Luna on both sides. Wolverine lock is also in my nightmares, as we know. Wolverine with a ton of pockets is scary.
You know what this might signify? We could see a triple duelist composition, maybe. I mean, Punisher's not available, but we saw in EMEA they played triple duelist with Solo Tank Magneto. They played like Wolverine, Human Torch, and Punisher. Punisher's banned for them, obviously, but that's definitely a viable thing they could do. I would like to see it personally.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a meta shift, right? I talk about the potential for Solaris to do stuff like that. I don't hate it. I mean, they're showing right now, obviously, Gale, at Bedtime and Borderline are showing duelists, so there is potential for it. I would like to see a triple duelist run. Emma going to get locked in. I can't believe Emma made it that far into the lock. That's definitely new across the board, but Envy just feeling, you know, confident. They didn't have to ban it to the very end, so, and Solaris just not worried about it either. So let's see what they're thinking here, as we might actually see that triple duelist comp.
Yeah, if you're looking, by the way, at that ban phase, what happened is an 8-phase ban phase, right? Ban protect phase, and what we just saw is it kind of played out, right? Each team gets to ban the other team's 4 heroes. Whichever 4 heroes they don't want the other team to play, they can ban them. During said phase, you can kind of pick protects to sort of counteract some of the bans that come through. But both teams only have 4 heroes they cannot play. They're not global bans, right? So you saw Ultron banned for the side of, I believe, Solaris. But, you know, that doesn't mean on the other side for Team Envy, they can't play Ultron, because they definitely can. So this new phase, this new ban situation we have here in the Ignite series is definitely interesting, because it's also asymmetrical. So it's that third ban that everything's synced up, right? It's every 3 it's synced. So it's very interesting, Ship. I mean, what's your take so far of it, dude? Like, it's been fun to see it so far. I mean, do you have any just immediate reactions from seeing this ban phase come through, as it's been early days in the Ignite series and in the group stages?
I mean, I love it. I think it, you know, it forces different comps, right? I always talk about, I think Rebels does a great job at having a lot of viability with different heroes, but that even makes that more diverse, right? Like, you really have to run different comps, especially when you start seeing what they're thinking. You can see based on their locks, their goal with the composition, and you try to counter it and force out some weird things. I like the idea of getting rid of some of these very strong strategists and making them play a little more off-meta strategists, but Envy is going to be running, actually, so they got Month on Mantis, Nero on Ultron, Window on the Jeff pick off the rip. Kaluge going to be on that Emma, which we know he feels comfortable with. So quite a unique composition there as well. This is a very unique start.
Yeah, very unique indeed. I think we might see more of these sort of solo Vanguard comps play out as Cal finds Bedtime Story on the flank. That was a nice opening pick. And with that, they just walk towards the point. Bedtime Story does have that res with the Adam Warlock, though.
Yeah, so we are going to see a bit of a Guardians comp here from Solaris, feeling confident in Bedtime. Ooh, nice shot there by Bedtime on a Nero. It's a nice early pick. Gale trying to put some serious damage in the back line. We saw a ton of Warlock here in the last tournament. Obviously took a little bit of a backseat, but the power is still very much there. Cal on the Wolverine finds Guru. I haven't seen Cal on Wolf in any of these tournaments. Goes to show you, like you said, expanded hero pool. Good damage there by Bedtime on a Speedery. Borderline going to take out Kaluge, and Solaris potentially getting the point point early on map 1.
Yeah, I like this back and forth. Triple strategist, 2 duelists, a single Vanguard for Solaris. And on the other side for Envy, running the same thing except with slightly different heroes. So right now, Envy sent back. Solaris in control of the point. Definitely is a surprise so far. Here comes Speedily with an aggressive ultimate.
Yeah, it's going to force out something, and there is a fair amount of damage to Jeff NATO. Honestly, I didn't think I'd see it in this tournament. I do have a question about that. If it gets some more value, Envy going to take out almost the squad as Cal cleans up. Really well played. Waiting for that res now. Just trying to hold on here. It's Borderline just buying time on point. Pretty smart play. Does utilize that ultimate, but at this point, 33% is not so bad. Cal going to try to take out Gale here, and that's a great sleep and follow-up as Cal goes down.
I mean, Gale does have that res too because he lived there, but you know, the point's so far away, they just give up the positioning. They walk back away. Can't use that res in this upcoming fight. And like you said, that Jeff NATO is disgusting. From what pros have said, there is no counterplay. It literally just eats everybody and destroys them all. So it's hard to play against that combination.
Yeah, like one of the few things would be like Iron Man if somehow Mantis, you know, or if Storm was left available. But the Iron Man Ulb, you just got to hope you get it off right where they're coming in. You know, it's valuable, but it's difficult, especially if they're pocketing the Storm. But still, good pressure here. Envy going to try to gain up on that charge at about 30. Ooh, Envy going to sweep up. Gale trying to ult back a few, bringing back 3, trying to take the pressure back to them. Ultimate advantage on Solaris, pressing Q. 3 go out. There goes the Wolverine. Gale going to find Kaluge and Cal. Good damage here. Speedery up on the high side. Gilbert going to take out Month and right back into Solaris' favor.
Yeah, they played it perfectly. Guru as well, looking for a little bit more. And he's able to get it. Nero is going to fall. I mean, Gale with the res, Pizza Demon after the res. You usually see a Stratus ultimate set up to come back and go aggressive with the speed boost as well after that res comes through, but with no ultimates in this upcoming fight except the Galactic Legend. I'm curious how this plays out because guess what? Jeff NATO is online, Mr. Chip.
Yeah, I've always been curious, as we haven't seen a lot of this tournament. We haven't seen much of the ban out of those two. I always thought, you know, what's the trade-off? Why are they not so stressed about it? Because right now it seems like a ton of value, as we will see it again, running directly at everyone. Down goes Gilbert off the rip. Not going to get too much more, though, so we do see some good positioning there. Did potentially pop Wolverine. I'm not 100% sure. It seemed like it did. And we do see some follow-up. Bedtime going to take out Nero. Cal goes out from Gale. Bedtime on a second with Window, and Guru on Kaluge. Great sweep there. Solaris popping off here in Envy.
You know, Bedtime Story a couple patches ago was known as one of the best Moon Knight players. Today, he's looking like one of the best Star-Lord players. A lot of ultimates available, though, for Envy as they walk back to the point. As we kind of enter no man's land they can't even touch. We're entering next round on Hell's Heaven.
Well played by Solaris here. You know, if I was a betting man, I don't know if I would have started this way. I would have thought they could have come back, but really strong play, unique compositions, and just getting the job done. I mean, Envy trying to run that NATO. Unfortunately, it looks like they might be switching off, or Jeff's getting picked again. It might just be for the initial speed boost, but wow, really well done by Solaris. And look at Bedtime.
Oh, yeah. He's been absolutely disgusting on the Star-Lord. Finding those eliminations, and it's so smart, too, how they played it, right? They put Gilbert Noodles to sort of anchor that point, was sort of a bait for the Shark, right? He was just like there, and then here comes Jeff NATO off the top ropes just to eat Gilbert, and unfortunately, poor little Gilbert Noodle gets eaten, but it doesn't really matter, right? For the rest of the team, they've all already gone away from the point. They used him as a distraction, sort of dispersed like a horror movie, right? Just left one person to die, but as long as you know, split up and maybe other people can live, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think it goes to show you why they maybe don't run it, because it just wasn't getting that much value. Using 2 ultimates, we only saw 1 pick there on the second utilization. The first one was really clean, but, you know, it's just a little too much of an overcommitment every time, maybe. That's the discussion, but they are going to be running again, so we'll run this back for a little bit of testing. Good sleep there. They are on point early. Envy, they try to get a pick there. Solaris trying to find somebody off, and then we do see the Popeye Borderline. Immediately out goes that Eternal Bond. We see the Sonic. He does not manage to land on virtually anyone, as they're committing a lot here. Envy trying to find some more, and nobody goes down. Wolverine Guru up on the front line, just dealing an obscene amount of damage. A ton of overshield as it does pop. Oh, passive is pop, that's what I thought. And down goes one. Gale gonna res up. Window gonna take out Guru. Kaluge on a Gilbert. Month on a Pizza. Speedery on a Gale, as everybody finds some value there and sweeps out Solaris back to their spawn door. And Envy looking more like themselves on map 2.
Yeah, that was a great last stand there from Cal. The only real potential for Solaris to come back there was Guru getting his very own off, but the sleep from Month shut that down. And right now, Solaris sitting with a massive edge towards his defense. It's always hard to kind of come into these points with those Adam Warlocks, and a grab comes through from Guru, though. Nice steal in the sleep, and the follow-up is there.
Wow, and that's just terrifying to see. Even with Diamond up, you just don't expect the play. Good angle, good find. Gilbert gets tackled right back. Nero gonna drop Gilbert. Numbers are even down. Guru gonna make sure that Nero's no longer in. Gale gonna res that back up, and here comes the combination. Oh my goodness, Speedery finds 3, and this is why the Jeff NATO is in nightmares. Well done there, showing the power and holding on to point with 46% on.
Jesus Christ, imagine the horror of respawning into an Adam Warlock res just to be eaten by Jeff in a tornado. That is just, that's some nightmare stuff right there, man. That was terrifying.
Yeah, you know, I lose some sleep over that. There's just a few ultimates that when you get rezzed up, if you hear again, or if you hear Jeff making noises in a tornado, you just start sobbing. You just start crying. You know things are not going to go your way, but bedtime, here comes the Galactic Legend, finding a ton of value with this today so far, but a couple ults get popped there. I believe we saw Solar Surgeons from Month to hold on. Bedtime still trying to find one, unable to do so. Good counter ultimate as they retake as a team.
A good movement to get away there from that Star-Lord as well, and that Star-Lord's ultimate was huge considering they're missing that in this upcoming fight. Bedtime's gonna go down to, oh no, Nero with the pickup. He does have the self-res though.
Yeah, Gilbert going to take out Speedery, trying to put this back in their favor. It's almost 100-0 so far, but alts are going to be swayed back towards Solaris here shortly. As I say that, I look over a collusion window, although they weren't necessarily there in that fight. Are sitting on ultimate, so oh my goodness, the tornado is coming back. The power of the tornado could be seen again. I was, I was considering saying, hey, they're not getting as much value based on last round, but I was wrong, as it's shown to be very successful here again, and we might see some sort of ban.
Yeah, nice pickoff from Gale at the very least. You're right, maybe something's going to come through later on. But regardless, I mean, like I said, there's no counterplay to this. The only counterplay is leave Gilbert to die. Everybody else, run for your frickin' lives. We'll see if they can play around it. Grew with the last stand, was able to find eliminations last time. But Jeff NATO is up, and man, Chip, sure you're excited to see this one.
There's a whole lot of cues here for Envy as we do try to see if we can get some people tranced off. Good tackle out of the sky there for Guru, trying to shut that down before the ultimate goes out. Kalush gonna take out Bedtime. Speedery still finds one on Pizza Demon there though, and this is going back in Envy's favor, so holding on to some ultimates. Cal with a nice last stand. Pizza gonna res back up as we do see some reses coming through as Gilbert finds Cal, and it is back towards them in OT now.
It's back towards them. I mean, Guru set that up, shutting down speedily in the ult. Kalush finds Pizza Demon, though. And they have everybody here. Cloak and Dagger coming back through. Speedily needs to build towards his ultimate to get that Jeff online with the Jeff NATO.
There it is. Here comes the tornado. Here comes the hurricane as they come through on top of the ultimate. Not much you can do about it. One down goes Pizza. Do I see two? No. Emma's diamond form. Enough reduction there to keep them up. Guru gonna find Speedery and turn it back. And will Solaris be able to do this as they are still somehow turning this fight around through the hurricane?
I mean, Guru has looked so good on Wolverine. I mean, this man, I think, a week ago, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but he was kind of feeding on the Wolverine a little bit. Now coming into today, he looks like a changed man. This guy's absolutely going insane on the Wolverine to cancel that early ultimate. Gale again with a pick. How many times have we seen Gale find these opening picks towards the spawn? Speedily looks down. He's like, oh, I'm missing another teammate. Great. Awesome. Good news, everyone.
Yeah, finding a strategist every time. Warlock still very much apparent when you have the right team. Just getting the job done, holding on a point, turning this around 70%. I mean, we looked at 99% Envy with like 4 ultimates, Solaris with nothing, and they still managed to hold on here as we are now at 80% towards Solaris. And here goes Kalush again, trying to find somebody. Nero up in the high side. Gilbert with a double dunk on the Month and Window, and they're gonna keep it going as Kalush goes down. Bedtime on the Speedery, Guru on the Kalush, and that might be enough for map 1.
Are you kidding me? 93% of the board. Nobody to touch. Portal's coming through. It's gonna land.
It will.
They dash through. They do.
Holding on now, brother. I mean, there's still, the retake is here. I didn't know if it was going to happen. Pizza in the trade. Kalush finds Guru. That's a huge pick early. Getting the wolf out of your face. Gilbert's going to take out Speedery, though. And here comes the res by Gale. Another insane res. Oh, but Jeff not allowing that to happen. And they are going to potentially take them off that side window, which is a nice play. Window at the window. Say goodbye as two go down unless the fly comes back. Bedtime going to take out Kalujo. Gilbert on a month. This is so back and forth. Solaris, though, still looking like this is theirs unless this tornado can be enough. Wow, Cal tried, but it didn't work.
He's sustaining. I mean, he tried to go for that last stand, but got canceled as well. Taking off the point. Overtime takes down his Guru with the claws, destroying everybody. And Solaris, they do it. They won map 1 ship.
What an underdog story. They looked so good after the first few fights, man. I would have put money. When you win these early fights in domination, the momentum just stays with you. They dominated early. They were up heavy in alt charge, and it just did not work out for them. Jeff used that combination early, wasn't allowing the Jeff NATO just to try to get a few. Did find some picks there. It's not like it wasn't valuable, but then the tornado came through and only managed to get one after the fact. I'm just curious if they held on, if it maybe worked out for them, but really well played. Speedery with 13 and Bedtime with 13 as well. What a game.
What a game, man. I just, wow. Cal, last stand, he died while going for it. So that's brutal. That could have been the difference maker to find that elimination with it. But regardless, Gilbert Noodle, what a game. We talked about him earlier on the Magneto. Really came through and needed most. Bedtime story, the whole team looked phenomenal. And it cannot be overstated, like that Envy was like one of our favorites to win this whole tournament, and they're now down a map to the stream team. Like I feel like that's crazy. That's actually just insane.
Yeah, I mean, the power of belief. If you think you can get it done, you can get it done. The momentum, man, they lost it on that second map. I was like for sure convinced that NB had that, just being at 90% to 0, that they could retake a few fights and reset, but they just managed to, yeah, I mean, a ton of picks, like almost every endgame fight there by Gale. Finding a strategist off the rip like that is terrifying. And you talked about Guru, dude, tackling people out of the sky like it's his job, and it was just insane. Really well played across the whole board.
Yeah, I think this week has really meant a lot for a lot of these pro players. I feel like the Ignite series, you know, the amount of excitement coming up, everybody's been nonstop grinding. I know a lot of people have stopped, even a lot of the pros have stopped streaming as often because they're just trying to get ready for this match, and you can see the practice is definitely paying off. Guru looked phenomenal. The whole Solaris team, this is why you damage boost as well your Adam Warlocks if you're on Mantis, just for those pick-off potentials like you saw with Gale. It's almost like in the neutral, sure, it's good to have Bedtime story on the Star-Lord boosted, but it's also very important to have Gale just getting all that damage, finding those picks. They wouldn't have won this map if Gale didn't find 2 picks to slow down. Maybe built 20% on his own, like, right? And in baseball, we talk about wins over replacement. It feels like Gale, you know, I wonder what his war would potentially be because he popped off. And Solaris right now, a map over the favorites to win the North American region, man. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I got to show love to Gilbert there. Just watching that MVP, that double dunk on the back, dropping 2 strategists in the final fight, potentially game winning. And then everyone followed up and found some value. What a series so far. I mean, we're just early on in the domination. I'm already excited for this matchup. So back and forth. Really thought that Envy had that there, especially on map 2. A full switch around at roughly 90% is like, it's at this level of play is very difficult, but they just kept winning those neutrals. And even when they were down alts, they found a way to survive or lose maybe 1 or 2 to get KO'd and then turn the fight around and win it. So incredibly well played.
Well, we'll see what happens on map number 2. We'll be back in just a second for that map.
Welcome back, everyone. What a game 1. What did you think of that map and that start to the series, dog?
I mean, man, I know there's like some sort of ball spark going on right now. There's like a basketball involved or something, maybe some sort of finals. That pales in comparison to Jeff NATO on the battlefield, bro. Like, why did that not work out? Like, it was such a beautiful combination. It seemed so broken, but they just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, so my thoughts on that, I think that Jeff Nato excels into a couple things. We saw some value into the Atom. Obviously, Atom Res, they're all grouped. It plays really well. I think it also counters heavily into things like Luna Ultimate, where teams have to be forced to fight on stacked alts, right? It's really good at clearing teams then. But on a Cloak Ultimate, it's a little different. The team was all over the place. They were scattered throughout the entire line. It gave them the ability to juke and maybe lose one or two, but for 2 ultimates, that's worth it. And they were turning those fights around after. So I truly do believe the fact that they were not just playing on something like a Luna where there's constantly grouped, it didn't get as much value. So that's got to be it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think Luna Snow may be a catalyst to securing those kills with the Jeff Nato. In Solaris, they played it positioning wise, near perfect, right? The strategy was just run away, like you mentioned, Shib, running away from that Jeff Nato, only allowing one, because it feels like you just give up one, right? You sacrifice one, and maybe everybody else runs for them their lives. Now going into map number 2, we're headed to Yggdrasil. Going into the ban phase again, we've talked about it before, but it's brand new with the Ignite series. So I got a little bit wrong. It's the fifth phase in which the synchronized ban comes through. So right now, both teams synchronize ban at the same time, and then the red team, Team Envy, gets that protect. But let's go into this now. Shib, protect coming through, bans as well for Ultron, Loki. We're ignoring Emma Frost yet again.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the exact same story we had last time, and this time they are going to lock in Luna for the side of Envy. They want to keep that Luna around, maybe find a more value against the Flyers, even with the hit scan in general, but similar bans off the rip, at least so far. Curious what Solaris is going to do. Definitely the most unique of, okay, so Emma is going to be taken off the field there against Envy, making Kalush pick something else, but he's not afraid of Strange, or Mag, and I think Strange plays really well at Yggdrasil.
The tough part is, now that you protected Luna, did they ban Mag too? Can't you ban Mag because they haven't protected Luna? Surely.
Yeah, they could. They absolutely could here. We'll see what they do in this moment. Sorry, they already locked in to keep Mag, so they actually can't. But
no. Solaris is. I mean, Solaris could ban Mag on the other side, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they could ban. They could double tank him out.
Right.
Yeah,
now that you're moving 2 of the best tanks.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Apparently, like I said, I do think if you're going to play Strange, I think he's definitely more meta this season, but I think Yggdrasil is a very strong Strange map with teleport and just teleport wall-offs. It does a lot to spawns. It does a lot to various chokes on point 2 and even on point 1. When they're teleporting back, you can find yourself canceling that out or shutting down lines. But either way, I do think Kalush is not afraid to play virtually any tank at this point, any Vanguard at this point. So we might see that Strange from him unless they manage to get that out too. But yeah, I mean, definitely the most unique banning setup we've seen in this series out of every series in this tournament so far.
I think this goes to show this patch has been phenomenal, right? No more permanent Human Torch ban. That just felt like every time it's just always Human Torch ban. Right now, it's up in the air. I mean, yeah, it was Emma Frost all the time, but now not in this series, right? So super fun stuff to see that this patch has been treated in such a way. And I think people have talked about before, like the devs of this game. Bedtime Story DC, by the way, maybe hopefully comes back. But the devs of this game, like a lot of them actually are in top 100. Like they know, like people are like, oh my God, the devs don't know what they're doing. Light on Twitter, for example, FlyQuest. What are the devs doing? Get rid of this team up with Hawkeye and Luna Snow. It's OP. Nobody's even played Hawkeye Luna Snow, by the way, so far. I just want to point that out. So I just love the fact that our devs play this game, and actually the high rank, the high elo.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we talk about how these guys are putting in overtime, man. The amount of updates. I mean, even that new mode, the Ultron, it's so fun. The chess mode, everything they do in this game, they just care about the player base. They care about the game. They're constantly shifting metas. This is what you want to see in a game that's going to this level of a pro scene. I mean, this kind of money on the line in the first tournament too, and it's so funny. You mentioned the Hawkeye thing, and Gale's floating Hawkeye now, but
yes,
it could actually come through. But either way, I love what you're saying. I couldn't agree more. The devs playing this game at such a high level, making correct decisions. It's just it's a really good flow.
Yeah, it is so path the map we're gonna head into, and that's it's a good point you mentioned earlier with the devs putting in overtime. They really do, actually. It's not a joke. Like they actually do. Like I came back from another NetEase event that happened in Hangzhou, China. Shout out to Fragpunk Global Invitational. It was awesome, and I was talking to one of the members, like, yeah, this is when I went, I was like thanking them for an amazing trip and stuff, and then they were like, I was like, you guys must work it really hard. Like, yeah, this is NetEase. We love this. We love these games. We put in 13-hour days, right? They are constantly putting in those updates, like you said, making sure the heroes get released, the new skins, right? There's so many things that comes out. Like we have the Vault that just came out, the new skins, like you said, Mr. Fantastic. and Invisible Woman. So a lot of stuff that we have content-wise. We even have an entirely new game mode with the Ultron Protocol game mode. We haven't even talked about that ship. You know, like we haven't mentioned the new game mode at all, and it's like literally amazing. Pause, by the way.
I mean, me and you can talk about that forever. I know you've been putting some hours on there. It's funny because I get off playing ranked and I sit there and I'm like, what do I want to play? I want to go play. I want to go play some chess with Ultron. I want to start dominating. I found myself sinking in an insane amount of hours. And, you know, you might be thinking, oh, the casters just, you know, overhype it. No. I literally am addicted to it and I'm constantly playing it. I would love if that became a permanent mode personally. But yeah, it's just a good break. It's a ton of fun. And I think a little more polished, that thing would be a next level experience. I think it already is so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this game like adds like custom games and stuff eventually. Obviously, this is just speculation. We'll have to wait and see what the devs have in store. I'm sure they have so many ideas and stuff. But Pause, by the way, is going to be here, so we're waiting for bedtime story. Maybe he had mom aggro or something, you know? Came in the room or something. But you're right. I mean, like the chess is just fun. Like the game could turn into like a sort of a hub potentially. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Because it's definitely. No, they don't. I mean, the Ultron game mode was great. The Jeff White. I mean, to be fair, these other game modes were like definitely like big head mode. Maybe a little gimmicky, right? But the Ultron game was not really a gimmick. It's like just literally auto chess, right? Now we come back. Wait, the pause is done? Without bedtime story? He's not... Wait. Okay, no, he's here. He's here. Okay, thank God.
Yeah, he made the connection. You know, I don't think we've seen Hela on the field, not even without bans, just not being played much. But, you know, Hela does a great job of flanking DPS, does some serious...
He's like the only team, I think, in NA that's played it a little bit. With, with Helena.
And Hela's great. I mean, super strong, especially against Flyers. A lot of Flyers this season, especially with the addition here of Ultron, as you see Nero trying to find some off angle, holding this right side height. Great map here for Flyers. And yes, Gale is going to be on the Hawkeye with the team up. Ice Arrow goes out, just trying to find some more value. It's on a 20-second cooldown, so you can kind of launch that thing off cooldown. As long as you keep it up, you can shoot it through walls, but note that its most value is at about, I think it's 30 meters. It does freeze, so as long as you get one freeze, it's almost a free headshot if no one has any sort of focus on shooting that location. We're going to find a pick there early and put this back. Envy pushing them back to the spawn door.
This is tough. You know what the difficulty is with Ultron as well? Now they come back in with Ultimate, but if they don't find an elimination, here's the meteor I'm on the sky. The tough part with running Ultron is that your healing is dispersed across 3 players, so your Ultron buildup is even slower, and Solaris was able to go back in with their own Lunar first before even any reaction could come through.
Yeah, they're going to match this here, reducing the dance floor, being pulled out with the invisible boundary. More time on the dance floor. Window is going to take out Gale, though. Keep the pressure. Envy looking very aggressive right now. And I did see Collusion on Strange. I had a strange feeling, but I'm done. I had a strange feel that he was going to be playing Strange here, but this port, like I said, portals are very effective on this map. It's a very Strange heavy map, and they are going to get this point with a ton of time on the clock, almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, I guess the power of the Ultron was too much. Solaris got walked out after the ultimates came through from Pizza Demon with the copy on the borderline. Right now, I think we need Gale to kind of pop off a little bit more. I hate to say it. It's been hard for this Hawkeye to really find those opening picks. Envy have done a good job avoiding them. The movement, the flyer movement specifically. 2 players in the sky. See the freeze, nice freeze, but he can't find the follow-up.
And here we go with the Hurricane coming in. Crystal's going to get pulled out, but it does a good job of deleting those quickly and keeping the pace. And like I said, the Ultron drone on Speedery here, it really enables Flyers to play a little more aggressive and find different angles. Nero going to take out Guru, though. Gale trying to put a ton of damage out. Does have that ultimate, but it's difficult to go into. I mean, if you're not going to have Magneto to stuff the Hawkeye, it's also very difficult to go into a group who can just keep rolling off those LOSs. Nero going to take out Gale with a nice ult. Very focused offensively. We talk about being able to do that with Ultron where it gets more value. Great shot there. Down goes bedtime. Schmiedery on Guru, and this is starting to look more like what we'd expect here from Envy.
Yeah, I think this is unfortunately a time to switch compositions. Right now, Solaris switching over Gale to the Adam Warlock. This map feels a little bit too one-dimensional, I think, to run triple duelist. We'll see how it pans out, but at least without any flyers. I feel like if you run triple duelist, maybe you need some more members just sort of contesting the sky. I know you have bedtime story doing that, but with how much verticality in terms of cover you have for both Speedily and Nero, it's going to be hard for this Hela to find opening picks, especially against, you know, the heroes on the side of Envy with Invisible Woman to give them shields.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't make the connection, which I think is really strong. Window's such a good Groot. I think the bans were very targeted on maybe Kaluge there and leaving the Groot open. Obviously, it is a little scary as you're going to have the Wolverine on the other side now. Guru going on the Wolf. Speedery again with the Hurricane, potentially finding value, running through everybody. A ton of cooldowns getting pulled out, but we do get a match Luna on both sides. Great tackle there, but Luna still holding on back towards the team. Guru not able to find much here. Building off, but only at roughly 24% as they are deep into point 3. Here comes Ayavagamoto. Froze out, not able to get that out.
No, I mean, no, not indeed. Now they're able to come back into it. Finally, few eliminations, but the sustain is a lot from Envy, right? Forcing out those ultimates. We'll see how they play this throughout the series, but it is tough because once you let that Luna Snow and the Ultron get through, you have the drone, you have the Luna Snow idle, so you can sort of hard pocket one hero, just give them so much sustain, and it's heavily on a Speedily to make sure he kind of gets as much value as he needs.
Yeah, I mean, beautifully well said. And this is definitely an alt advantage on Envy. Envy has to make a play here up a number 2. This is your fight to take. You do have a pop here by both strategist line, but it is a res, so you can still find more value. Great take here by Nero, looking directly towards the back line. Ton of damage out there for Bedtime, but Bedtime does get healed up. Well played. Nero still holding that angle. Not getting a ton of value with these ultimates. Gale and Pizza still holding on here. Ready to make another dance for it, potentially. Just to, yeah, there it is. Counter it up as Pizza is going to copy up the Luna. Fate of Both Worlds is out. Gale going to take out Kalush too prior to the invisible boundary, and that's a nice pick. Gale just doing a really good job here on Warlock.
Yeah, Gale doing a great job. Nice a little bit of damage boost there from Pizza Demon too. No strategist ultimates, but you do have the crystals, which honestly are pretty much the same thing with the restorative crystals to keep everybody alive. And Guru now at the last stand. Guru's kind of been shortening on this map. We'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, that is a big cooldown to burn when you talk about crystals, but it's significantly reduced cooldown comparison to Adam Warlock with his Soban. And there's the res from Adam Warlock right there as they bring Guru right back in the fight. Bedtime back in, Luna ult to keep everyone healthy. And that's a good swing, turning things back in their favor as Solaris just consistently wins these ult advantage or these lesser advantage fights where they're down ultimates, somehow coming back. But I say that as Window finds Borderline, and down goes Forrest. Kalush takes out Gilbert, and Guru looking really good up in the sky goes Bedtime, but it's not going to last long as it looks like Envy is shoving this thing in for point 3.
This has been a really rough map for Solaris. Walls as well. Make sure nobody could touch. Literally sent the Borderline to the gulag over there as we're finishing up on the map. Tough game there from Solaris, and I think it's just solo tank on it just so feels kind of rough, man, especially without Human Torch, without flyers, because they just don't have the sustain to like fight in these team fights, right? You have Guru go in, once his passive gets procced, he's just kind of a fish just left out on land, right? Just drown, like not drowning, but without water to flow in the gills, right? And right now Guru, I'm curious what they changed, because I feel like this happened before in the qualifiers with their team. Like they lost, I believe, to was it Avenged 7, I believe, a team that didn't qualify for the tournament. They lost this map on Idrisil, running a very similar composition, solo tank, and I just don't think it really works too well on this map, maybe.
Yeah, what I will say is I think that it was really smart pick and ban, because you see Window is able to play that they are able to play Groot, right? And having Groot out there, they have no Punisher answer to burn some of these walls. They not even Emma to gain charge off walls. They're struggling to get through. As you can see, Window hasn't been KO'd a single time, neither has Nero. Just kind of playing off the pressure of these walls, not being able to get through. Yes, there is a Wolverine, but it gets counteracted again by Monk, who is on that invis. And you know, at this level of play, they're ready for that push and pull nearly every time, and while it can still get value, it is far more frequently shut down, at least when the strategists have lines of sight.
This is why I love you, Shiv. You give me the Vanguard perspective. I just like mentally didn't even acknowledge Window. I mean, they just did so much there, and that's a great point, man. So now on defense, he might be in a similar position.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think they're trying something kind of different, bringing Bedtime and Gale just on Bedtime's now going to be on the Hawkeye here. We do see Speedery playing very aggressive, trying to get that all charged up. Teleport goes out. Not sure, it's more of a wall than anything right now. Just buying some time. Speedery going to take out Guru early. Down goes that passive too. And once again, that Window going to be in a more safe position, knowing that they're not going to be able to press into you with that Wolverine as frequently.
This is another reason why I think this Ultron's also countering this Hawkeye, because every time Bedtime now, by the way, because Bedtime's now onto Hawkeye and Gale's over to the Adam Warlock. Anytime Bedtime has a fully charged shot going for a flyer, whoever it is, with a body shot, he's not going to find an elimination because guess what? Nero is there with the firewall to give them bonus health. So that's theoretically, was it like 400 bonus health if you hit everybody every 9 seconds? So that's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, wow, they're very aggressive out here by Ultron. A ton of damage goes out, does find one. Borderline goes down early. Cal gonna clean up Guru too. Envy very much took that last loss personally and are looking insanely clean here. 2 minutes 30. Point hasn't moved much at all. Just kind of holding on tight. Very aggressive. Like I said, these walls are unbeatable. They cannot get through them, and they are just using that free space to hold them at the spawn door. And this is just, I think, a pick ban situation. Definitely learning from their mistakes in the last map, and every one of them have all at this point.
Yeah, Guru's over to the thing. Maybe they can walk up with it. Here comes that Hawkeye ultimate. Envy, just easy disengage for them. Met by Invisible Boundary on Month and Borderline side.
Yeah, up in the height here. Like I said, Envy holding on to 5 months. Going to pop out that Invisible Boundary. Kaluge with a high side down on all of them. And they are going to try to follow up with the Hurricane. Does land, but the dance floor way too strong. Everybody's finding a groove there, keeping each other healthy. Guru going to find Speedery, though. Love to see the thing taking out a flyer. And there was the attempt from Gilbert to try to get an eye of Agamotto. Not finding a ton of value with it at this moment, as there is a dance floor out to match that back. But the pressure's there, and they do look like they're pushing this through. Mon's going to take out two, though. Is it going to be enough? And Nero up in the sky on the Hawkeye. You mentioned countering that Hawkeye, and yep, there's the pick there as Monk going to clean that up. And it looks like they may be able to hold on. I really thought that Solaris there were going to turn that around, but good defense here and good patience by Envy.
Yeah, right now their sustain is beautiful. Envy just able to play around that ultimate from window, that Strangling Prison. Now we're at 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go, which is kind of crazy. So Solaris, honestly, they've been getting a lot of fights, Shib, it feels like, for how many fights they've lost, right? It's definitely interesting that now they're still in like 2 or 3 fight territory. They still have a chance here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not done by any means, and they're trying to, oh my goodness, that is an insane tackle. Down goes Schmieder. That was next to level. Gale is now over here popping off on, they're just switching all over the place. Bedtime gonna find Month, and now it's back in their favor again. We mentioned Solaris not giving up. It's not over, and they do find 3 as they should 4, make that 4 and 5 as they take point 1. I don't think there's even time for the teleport to come through, as Kaluge is currently on Strange, so there's not gonna be able to make that happen, and they are gonna get point 1.
Can I just point out, by the way, how good our observing team has been? Like, what the hell? They're getting every single play so far. Shout out the observing team real quick, and Guru now ready to go again. They know, see a thing, we see a Wolverine, you know what's coming up.
Yeah, shout out observers for sure. Shout out the team behind the desk. Got to show you all love. Keep hiring us. Anyway, we're going to keep going forward with a tackle here again as they try to make a play. Guru, Bedtime, down goes Kaluge early. Those picks are massive. Cal on the Pizza Demon, Speedery onto Gilbert, and it looks like they're shoving this back as Envy just gets angry after each of these losses, but the ult advantage still holding on by Solaris. Very close on either side, though.
Gotta watch out for you, Shib. You're gonna get more unhinged as this series progresses with this fandom. Anytime you see the thing, I feel like I gotta watch out. You become a different person. Now into this upcoming fight. Big ults, Mr. Shibskis. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, very close. You know, it looked like it was gonna be a heavy ult advantage for Solaris. I mean, this throw here every single time, that's the main reason for playing. How is this possible? How are they doing this every time? Insane grabs out of the sky nearly every time. Good ultimate there. It is gonna be countered. Love's gonna pop up with the invisible bounty for ooh, good tackle out though. Oh my god, they're just matching everything. Out goes, oh, back and forth, countering, back and forth. I don't think we've seen one pick yet. Window, Kaluge finally gonna find 2. Envy still holding on through all of this chaos, just turning things around. Envy up numbers. Nero gonna take out Bedtime, and every ult got popped there besides Bedtime, and it still went in Envy's favor. Good defense there.
Yeah, great defense right now, utilizing the ultimates perfectly. Window also still sitting with the Strangling Prison for this upcoming fight. Nero, who plays aggressive, the zone ultimate as well, can do whatever he wants, because right now he's against Solaris, and Bedtime Story has his ult, but to be honest, I don't really rate the Hella ult that highly these days, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a pseudo tank, and you know, it does reset HP while you're up there. It does give you a fair amount, and while it can do some strong damage for sure, especially during something like Invis, it's enough burst to help you out. Oh, good tackle there, right onto Groot. Still holding on, though, back and forth. Borderline going to go down early, and that's still in Envy's favor. Alt advantage now. Kind of neutral. Nobody going to be ahead here. Looks like Envy might be slightly ahead. They're doing a good job on this defense. It's 48 seconds. They're definitely going to have more than another touch at this should they lose these fights. So looking heavily in Envy's favor here on map 2, and we might be going to a game 3. Let's find out together.
And we might be going to that game 3. Ultimate's ready to go. I mean, Envy, last time they were in a situation like this, they didn't get anything. Oh my God, Gale again in the sky, grabs that storm, but every time the pocket's there with the last aim, they get the kill. No, they don't. Kaluge on the backside with a huge Eye of Agamotto finding both supports.
Yeah, Kaluge with another 2-piece and cleaned up there. Speedery window and Kaluge finding some more. Yeah, Envy's finding their footing here, and they are going to potentially portal wall off. I believe they were trying to, but too many got out. He canceled that. A smart decision. I like the idea of it, just a little too late. That's why I'm talking about Strange on this map is really strong. A lot of portal shutdowns here for Strange. Can they touch? No, they cannot. Well done there by Envy to even the numbers, and we are going to a game 3 just like we wanted. I love to see it. What a match there by Envy.
Yeah, what a match indeed. And, you know, chat probably saying C9 or whatever the hell they're saying about that potential plays. Or we don't have like a Marvel Rivals team that doesn't touch the payload a ton, so we don't really have references as C9 has sort of lasted throughout esports. And right now we're entering map number 3. And you know, like you said, Shib, like we kind of saw the writing on the wall. That was just a tough map from Solaris there, right? They just couldn't do much with that triple duelist composition. And then, I mean, by the time they swapped, right, it just felt too little too late. Look at Guru, man. He just was having a rough time on that Wolverine at first, going 8 and 13, man.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the pop-off there of Groot and how much value. I mean, 11 final hits there is really showcasing how strong that Groot was against that composition. There really wasn't much to burn those walls. They tried to, you know, you have to put too much focus on, especially as you're going in with like a Hela. You know, Wolverine can help, but into a good invisible woman, it's very difficult to make that happen, especially if they're all over focusing on one objective, and that's just keeping your Groot up. So Groot with 11 there. You see Speedery on the Storm as well. And the whole line of that team, 30 plus with very few getting KOs against them. It's really well played there by Envy. Looked a lot more like what we'd expect.
Yeah, that backline is disgusting. I mean, they did so much sustain with the Luna Snow, with the Invisible Woman, like you said, and then also with Nero, who's honestly so far looking like one of the best Ultrons we have in the game. So look at this. Every time Speedily got grabbed, he's got a drone on him. I mean, sure, in that fight he died, but look how long he lived. You pop the firewall, you pop the Luna Snow like shift or like the clap, and you know, it's hard to actually get elimination even if you find that grab, right? That just goes to show how much sustain right now can be in this game if you allow it, right? Wolverine, one of the highest damage dealing characters in that full berserk mode, and it's not even enough to get a single kill if you're dealing with a drone and Luna Snow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. You're right. Wolverine is a menace, and they just did a good job dancing around it. I like you said, Ultron with some really good focus on replacement of that drone, keeping the team up, the invis, keeping the push off. It seems like actually Wolverine was trying to get Storm more than Groot because the eyes were on Groot at all times.
It feels like we're not even reaching pinnacle Ultron just yet, right? The character's brand new, right? Only been, what has it been, like 2 weeks since the new season? So since the 2.5 patch came through, and you know, we can see like Ultron has so much you can do with this. Even animation cancels, and I know that the NetEase guys like doing that kind of stuff with animation cancels. You could at 40%, you know, melee or throw your drone on somebody or use an ability and you just automatically reload. I don't even think Nero's doing that, but he doesn't even need to. To be fair, there's a lot that you have to do on this character, so to be able to constantly do, you know, animation cancel stuff, it's very difficult. But we're gonna go to a short break. We'll see you guys for round number 3 in just a bit.
Envy versus Solaris, game 3. Solaris really showed up during that domination, and Envy looked a lot more like themselves in map 2. And if I were to end any series, I'd want it to look like this as we go to game 3. What'd you think, buddy?
Oh yeah, what a game, what a series it's been. And I feel like just things have been kind of ramping up throughout the Ignite series, through the Ignite tournament so far, right? In the MEA, they had some fantastic matches towards the very end. Same thing happening today. I think this just bodes well. Obviously, the result of this match, one of these teams getting sent to the lower bracket, so they still have a chance to kind of come back. But both of these teams trying to fight for that second round. And I think tomorrow's matches, man, are going to be a banger, just like this one is going to be. Map number 3 coming up, man, between Solaris and Envy. And tough map for Solaris, but I mean, do you think they could bounce back here with the bans that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a shift, right? I feel like that game may have been lost in the ban phase, so we might see something different here coming up shortly. But I'm a newfound believer in Solaris. I think they're really strong. I mean, Envy is, we've talked about it, a contender to win this whole thing. So showing that kind of performance on domination, which is a very team fight heavy mode, and really showcasing what they can get done, good patience, good comms, because you can tell from the separation during some of those ultimates. Just well played, man. I'm excited for game 3 here as we go into Central Park Convergence, which is a choice of Solaris.
Ultron ban on both sides. It seems like the opinion is that this character's pretty good, despite people in lower tiers being very mad whenever Ultron's played. They always blame the Ultron player. Guys, stop doing that. You might be a little insane. Maybe look at yourself, right? If you don't have enough healing in your team, maybe that's your positioning, no? Like, maybe you just don't take so much damage? All right, just had to get that off my chest.
Well, why did I feel attacked there? It does seem to make sense to me, but I'm going to tune it out for my own mental. No, I do agree. I think Ultron is really in a good place right now, and it goes to show you right here. I mean, Nero is popping off there with the Ultron. I mean, he was 30-1 in that last game, so obscene, with 30 assists, by the way. So well played as we do see the bans go out. Emma going to get locked in and kept here for Kalush. We do see Punisher kept from the side of Solaris, and that is what I was hoping to see if you want to stop the Groot composition from rolling you.
See what the other bans come through. Sync bans now in this 4th tab. Both teams are going to ban at the same time. Emma not banned necessarily on that side just yet. They still can because it's not protected for the side of Solaris, is maybe forcing them on tough tanks once again. Or that Luna Snow, like we talked about earlier. But it kind of makes me sad seeing Nero, however, the Black Panther, just because, I mean, he's a strategist main now in this game, and in other games he was a duelist main, so I bet you he probably would be good at Black Panther if he picked it up. But now Solaris has a protect on their side, and Emma Frost still available for them to protect.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we'll see. It actually depends on their Vanguard line. Don't have too much experience there. I know that Gilbert's played some more off tank roles. I know that Penny, Thor on the table for Gilbert, so there could be something like that at some point here, depending on, I do think Central Park isn't a horrible map for something like Penny, and Gilbert is currently floating over Penny, so we might actually see that.
I feel like, yeah, you're right. Maybe we could see the Penny Parker. That'd be sick if we did, but I think also Guru is a really good Emma Frost player. Like, I think anytime this team wins, it's usually with Guru on that Emma Frost. So they get to have 2 kind of huge comfort picks. Gale on the Punisher, Guru on the Emma Frost. And it's obviously a lot of strategist bans coming through on their side. Ultron ban was interesting for Envy because, I mean, has Solaris even shown they played the Ultron much? I don't think they did.
I can't remember back in game 1 if we did see it, but I don't think they were running it. Yeah. They're running an Atom comp with, they had Mantis and they had Cloak there, but yeah, so I don't think they had Ultron. But yeah, no, it is going to be banned out on both sides now, though. Getting it off the face of the planet here. Emma is locked in. Punisher to shut down some of the group play. I like the change in comp here. This is going to be a good match. I think we've got coming up here in Central Park. I may have just jinxed it heavy, but we do see Gilbert floating on that Penny right now.
You're custom that Chib. You're custom the jinxes. You said you were in Eternity, you jinxed yourself saying you're going to keep winning, and you dropped all the way down to Celestial 3. What happened there, buddy?
Oh, we bounced back, but that one does hurt me deep down in my soul. That's a little bit of soul damage.
It was a monitor diff, right?
Yeah, monitor diff. Yeah,
actually, you got screwed. You got screwed, right? What did you say? Like, when you were streaming, you like had to, like, you played it through your Elgato capture card or something, and you just had insane input lag?
Oh yeah, it was difficult. It was I was running on the Elgato for a week, and it's embarrassing to talk about, but yeah, no, it was difficult, man. But I do like what I'm seeing here. I gotta dive back in. I think we might see a little more unique stuff. This is a really tough point to push through if you lock down heavy with a bunker comp on point 1. You obviously have that off angle if you do some crazy stuff if you go around right, but I think that we might see some strong play with a potential. We do have Emma now for the first time. I don't think they were able to run Emma at all on the side of Solaris, so we are going to see that coming through. And yeah, I think Gilbert is on Penny.
Gilbert's on the Penny, Parker. We've seen it in other regions. Now we get to see it today. On the defensive side, those mines were there, and Envy, well aware of it. Window takes some damage just to build up ult charge for Nero or somebody, but that builds up Gilbert's ult. But a lot of Penny Parker mains say how that ult is terrible. We'll see how bad it is today, I suppose. Oh, 3 hits, by the way. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, off the start here, great placement of these mines here, and yeah, just doing a ton of damage. Good potential, but they are locking back. Yeah, no, this is tough. I mean, their position is way far back. Good shots there by Bedtime at range, trying to stop down on the Hawkeye off the right. Hawkeye gonna have to retreat. Bedtime doing I was gonna say a good job keeping them at bay. Cal gonna watch that freeze and falls up. So well done by Cal, and that's what you want to see there with that combination, showcasing how strong that could be. The freeze into the immediate headshot. So well done by Cal and the Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were just going to play slow for support ults, which they eventually did because, you know, with Penny Parker, you're just going to take a lot of free damage from the mines. Portal play, by the way, going to be an act from Guru. Is he even going to get here in time? He is.
Yeah, it's back in. Team's going to reset. They are going to have a complete change here. Yep, Guru on the Strange. Pizza. Yeah, they're going to keep this. Gilbert now on the Wolverine. Good shots there by Gale to find Window coming in with... Oh, what a play! Down goes two. They find three. No, not going to last on. Cal with a great shot again onto Gale. Big body there for Punisher. And a little more vulnerable to some of these projectiles. And that's going to be some more damage for Speedery, driving them back in. Envy looking really good here on taking point one. Good off angle from Bedtime. Just essentially rotating spawn, but it's not going to be enough as they do take point one.
Yeah, tough point one for Solaris. I mean, it feels like they played it pretty well too, honestly. Like, I don't think that there was anything necessarily bad. So now swapping off to the Doctor Strange. The Penny Parker was, you know, moving around, dodging the tornado. No Jeff this time to capture them, but Gilbert Noodle now over to that Groot, and Guru swapping over to that Emma Frost yet again. And Envy, like you said, Cal on that Hawkeye. I think he's played it very well so far, just getting these freezes and speedily trying to figure out what to play. He's going to go on that Wolverine now upcoming.
Yeah, and here we go again on the reset. I think this is a strong point for Punisher. A lot of turret locations just to get all charged up. 31%. Borderline holding on here to the invisible boundary, but Window with that strangling prison does launch out. Not sure the value just yet. Bedtime on the high side. Doesn't look like they got much off of that strangling prison, but we do see Kaluge ready with the Psionic, ready to make a play. Cal holding on to ult as well. That could be a good combination, the two of them. And here goes Kaluge popping out the ultimate. Great location here by Bedtime. Guru gonna find Window too right back as they pop it as well. And it looks like Team Solaris getting more value out of these ultimates as we do see Eternal Bonds on the floor.
Yeah, Bedtime story. I mean, they're down Pizza Demon. They can't win this big with the Dance of the Butterflies, but he needs the support. Gets one. Can he get another one? Yes. And yes. Oh, more than one more. He gets four.
Yeah, what a play. Bedtime, some serious good positioning there, just farming that ult. Does get that charge up quickly, waits for everything to slow up, and then cleans up. Well done by Bedtime, who's playing a mean Psylocke here right now.
Yeah, this is what you want to see out of your Psylocke player, Bedtime. You know, I was about to call him a body shot bandit because we're not seeing a ton of headshots out of him, but, you know, he's playing his role right now. He's helping Solaris, and here comes the ultimate follow-up is there.
Yeah, a lot of big bodies here onto things like Punisher and Window over there on the Groot. Gilbert gonna find Speedery. Gale back on Kaluge, and Solaris took that first point personally, finding a lot of sweeps, not utilizing or over-committing. Should have ultimate charge, or actually ult advantage. It's gonna be very close as Nero's gonna have ultimate here in the next fight. Window as well. Speedery's holding on, so very close to an even spread on this next fight. But yeah, I mean, you see the back and forth here. It looks like it's heavily on the favor of Psylocke. Speedery's now over on the Psylocke as well.
Yeah, we're going to get that mirror matchup. Speedily known as probably the best North American Psylocke. He's against Bedtime Story, who's looked good so far. Solaris in this fight will get met by a Stratus ultimate with Gale's ult on his side.
And here we go. Gale gonna come out heavy with the final judgment. Not able to find anything just yet as we do see the dance floors pop, but still looking for something. Good tracking. Not able to make it happen though, as both teams just kind of slow the pace. But now Envy is gonna be up with this prison, and it lands, but doesn't find a few. Wall off on both sides. Does manage to take one out as Guru goes down. Great turret placement here by Gale. It's just farming that ult like I mentioned. And here comes Psylocke trying to find some value, heading directly on a Luna, but no, Bedtime is gonna have to retake.
Yeah, on the other side, Speedy's able to find eliminations, and right now Bedtime just needs to live. Buy time for Gilbert Noodle, but he's getting absolutely slopped in his choke. 1 minute, 40 seconds left to go. Speedily sitting with the ult.
Yeah, and here we go with the next set of five. Oh, Speedery goes down. Guru looking for one. We do see some oh my goodness. Cal on a three-piece. Make that four as Cal sweeps the entirety of Solaris, shoving them through point two, and then spray paints Jeff on the ground, showcasing he knew he was confident about that. Well done, Cal.
Yeah, I think Envy just noticing Solaris was in a weird spot with Bedtime, you know, not really fully reset because he was on the flank, maybe setting something up over there. Right now, Solaris They need to shore up their defense, right? They need to see 1 or 2 fight wins. Maybe Gale's ult can bring them back.
And here comes an ult from Gale. Great. Oh, through a destructible wall. Incredible big brain play. Make that 2 as Gale is just running at him at this point. 3, still fighting more. Window goes down. Guru gonna take out Speedery there with the assistance from Gale. Great return ultimate there by Punisher.
Yeah, something tells me Punisher didn't need a 50 HP buff. I mean, you can't even take him out when he's like a tank. He's like a freaking tank with all the heals coming into him, right? You have to bear in mind the sustain in this game is so much that 50 HP isn't 50 HP. I'll explain later. Now coming into this upcoming fight, Kaluj has his already go take so much poke. But Solaris, they have both Stratus ultimates, and they have Gilbert Noodle with his very own Strangling Prison. Early ult by Nero. That's good for Solaris.
Yeah, and you can see there, Gale, while on that turret, 10%. If you had your eyes on the bottom right there, 10% ult charge in that 4 seconds alone. Immediately, just by hitting a few people, it goes to show you that turret has its value in the right place with good positioning, and they're following up. Pizza Demon going to take out Nero early. It is back and forth as it's even out. Guru goes down 2, and here comes a potential Wolverine tackle. No, Cal going to take out Gale right back into it as the numbers are still on Envy's side. Bedtime going to the back line. Great ultimate there. The dance of the butterfly finds 2 as Bedtime fighting another big ultimate here. Playing a mean Psylocke right now. Great Psylocke window. Gonna turn that around though. Bedtime goes down. It's still Envy progressing forward as it looks like they're not able to stop this group. But Gale putting a ton of damage. Oh, nice shots there. Kalush goes down.
Yeah, nice Sonic seduction there from Guru. Gonna get traded though, so Guru, I mean, this has been a tough map for him so far. Just keeps getting kind of caught out. And now Gale has to kind of win with his ultimate versus Envy. Cal has his ult as well. Here comes the punishing ultimate from Gale.
Okay, here we go again. Gale had a lot of value last time. That's 1. Do I hear 2? Finding, oh, it's going to be returned right back at him. Who's going to make this happen? Cal says, not in my house. Turns this right back and takes him out. Now Cal keeping the pressure forward, just destroying these walls. The power of Punisher gets 2. Guru goes down 2. Cal really popping off in the moment of need. Window going to take out Bedtime, and that could be enough here. They're shoving right onto the point. 3 goes down. Speedery finds 2 more. Pizza falls, and that's enough for them to push through. Point 3.
I feel so bad for Guru. I mean, he just like, it just, I mean, I hate to say it. As much as I love Guru, Prime Subbage, make sure you give him a Prime sub to come back from that. He fed. He just fed. I hate to say it. Like, he got a little smoked. He got a little rolled and smoked. My doggies, shout out XQC. Like, it just felt like he just kind of walked forward a little bit too many times. And you saw, like, Gale, Sonic Seduction came out from Guru. They got an elimination. Gale's like, okay, I don't need to use my ult, right? Surely? And then Guru goes down, just going a little bit too far forward because, I don't know, there's a lot of things kind of resulted in Solaris's loss there, and it felt like they could have really stopped Envy, right, in that 3rd phase. So tough situation to be in.
I feel like it's a similar story we've been seeing with them. They do a great job, even when they're down ultimates, just kiting and playing smart and waiting some time out, but I don't know, man. During some of these ult fights, it always just seems to go towards Envy when they're roughly even on ults. But for some reason, they're winning when they're down on ults. I don't know how it's happening, but it is. I mean, it's a strange situation. I think it's got to go back to just like an understanding of these delayed and strong team fights, understanding who has their ults ready, maybe doing a better job of calculating that. But either way, man, I think they're putting on a pretty good show. They just kind of crumbled there on point 3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Guru is typically a great player too. I mean, he opened it up. They wouldn't have been in that last fight anyways if he got the Sonic Seduction off. So we'll see if they can come back. It's so hard on this map though. On Central Park, entering this last 3rd map, Solaris has pushed Envy to the brink in this best out of 3 upper bracket matchup at the very beginning of the North American Ignite series.
Yeah, we're seeing much more of a traditional comp here on both sides now. You are going to see the Groot Emma, you are going to see that Psylocke, Punisher, and you know, with the strategist bands, you've got your pick of the litter here. You know, you happen to go with Cloak and Luna, and here comes the turret just to try to gain ult charge. Keep your eyes on the bottom right. But unfortunately gets walled off, not able to get a ton there. But you know, it is a threat. Just burning these walls out of the way. Good idea. Ooh, good pressure as they're shoving them back into this corner already. Guru gets 2. Gilbert finds another. Well played. That was the fastest take I have ever seen.
I love that. They just walked on him speedily. I mean, they had Portal. Goes invisible. Knows he can go for a 1-shot here on the backside. So they have another shot. Solaris as well lost 1. So Gilbert falls so low. No, he falls.
Yeah, Speedery is gonna put some damage on Kaluj, collapses and gets 2 there, and they take this back. Great teleport there by Window to help them retake. Kaluj finding 2 after that. I mean, Yeah, I mean, but still, that's 2/3 of the point captured there. It's just one more fight. Solaris, you know, they just have to get ults and make something happen. Month holding on there is going to be ready to use that Eternal Bond, but it can actually, Gale can counter it with some good shots. So it's all dependent on where that flow goes. And, you know, obviously cloaks at this level are not going to be walking directly through the enemy. Instead, they're going to try to play around this natural cover. Here goes Gale off the rip. They're all tackled into a corner. Cal goes down. Great shots here. Finding potentially two. Great shielding and good rotation. Oh my goodness, not able to find more, but was very close. Kalu's gonna take out Guru though. Speedery trying to make some plays happen onto the Hella. Hella was very low, but decides to refocus here onto Gilbert. And there goes the dance. They are out right now. Pete's on the high side trying to escape, but Psylocke saying, not in my house. Speedery gonna get in another pick in milliseconds this month. Cleans up Borderline. Well done, Envy on the retake again.
Speedily looking well versed on that Psylocke. Bedtime Story also going to get found on the back left corner, and this is the problem, right? The chance for Solaris really did feel at the very beginning of the game when Gilbert found that first elimination on the Groot, and now, I mean, this is the tough part is that Envy sort of has found their footing, right? Cal's coming up with an ultimate. You've got Window as well with his own Eye of Agamotto. Solaris maybe gonna have to do something with his turret, with the portal play coming through, but it's going to be a slow play from them.
I kind of love it. This is a little bit of ingenuity here. I do think the turret portal play has potential. It just seems like slightly off from where the placement of the turret was. It doesn't have a great LOS, but it is helping with the pressure on the high side. A nice pick as Guru finds Cal, so it does have value. He's going to jump in. You just got to count to 20. Do not make sure you miss that teleport. Ooh, trying to escape, but the building says, not in my house. Literally my house. It's bedtime. Still finds Speedery on the back. Nope, not able to get that. Oh my goodness, what a turn and an immediate deletion of Bedtime Story.
Yeah, Speedily, another one. Gale goes down. I mean, they found the opening KOs, but it was not enough against Speedily, who just kind of doesn't make mistakes, right? He's always finding an opening pick on a duelist or a strategist, and he's right there with the follow-up every single time. Now coming into this last one, 40 seconds left to go. Speedily's time on the Psylocke has really given them so much extra diff potential here as he's waiting now for Bedtime Story yet again. He's kind of probably gonna be terrified.
Yeah, I mean, just some really solid pressure here again. I mean, Envy just not backing down, playing hyper aggro Cal. Pushing into Speedery again. Down goes Bedtime. Speedery doing a great job with these. Oh, wow. And immediately going to get that bond back in towards everybody right out of the point. They've got 11 seconds to touch 10. Will they be held 0.1 in this final game of the series? Or will they be able to retake as we do see the bond taken right back at them onto the point? Here comes Gilbert with an ultimate. Hits a few. Will they find value? Yes, they do take out Month, and there goes that bond off the ground. This could give them enough to take this point as Gilbert puts a ton of pressure out. The dance floor is out right now, and it's holding up, but it's no longer there. But look at this. They're still able to walk through them. Incredible team play as Speedily takes out Gale. Bedtime onto Cal. It's back and forth again. Will it be enough? They did cap.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. That's so. They knew Speedily was just absolutely tunneled on finding the back line. Had members, Gilbert Noodle specifically towards the point with that Eye of Agamotto earlier, carrying the fight with that Eye of Agamotto and then blocking off the heals. And now coming through, just securing the objective. I mean, Speedily smelled blood in the water, but unfortunately it's led to him getting punched in the nose. Right now, Envy, 2 minutes left to go. Need to hold Solaris in the streets phase.
What a shark reference. I gotta love it. And here we go again. I love to see. So we do have Bedtime. Yes, there we go. The Galactic Legend goes off. Oh, I thought I was gonna find an immediate pick there. Great positioning. Still gets one. And down goes Month. This could be enough to shove them through point 2 quickly. Oh, Cal is 1 HP. Oh, not able to finish the KO. Good flight pattern there. Speedily. Oh my goodness. Gale goes down. Kalu's gonna take out Gilbert. I really thought that initiation there was gonna be enough by Solaris. Great positioning there by Bedtime on the flank, but not able to make it happen, playing off these cooldowns and these health packs.
I think I just need to see him back on a Psylocke. I know you don't have it like Luna Snow, so you don't get the Snowflake. It's not as easy to get things done on Psylocke, but at first I thought because of Psylocke nerfs the character would be terrible, but specifically when you play with this Emma Frost, it feels like that Psylocke is a must pick.
Yeah, I mean, the clone is huge, right? It's just enough damage to make these rotations a rotation KO. So they are going to shove in Cal, going to take out Bedtime, even though we see the ult here from Gale. Cal still finding more value, just at a different angle here. Gale tried, and here comes Cal returning this right back, but Visible Boundary gets popped. It's all about intuition now. Do you just know where they're at? Do you believe? But no, not able to get anyone up there yet, but still driving them back just by kind of fanning the hammer here, going left and right, still pushing them back towards their spawn door with 45 on the clock. Ult advantage towards Envy.
It feels like at this point we'd see a lot of top teams pivot to Human Torch, even with the Invisible Woman team up, right? You have so much high ground to kind of play around, but it seems like Bedtime Story is really focused on either Hela or Star-Lord right now.
Good, again, engagement here by the internal bond. Speedily on the hide side. Ooh, and here comes the Eye of Agamotto. Gilbert trying to find some, but once again, these strategist ultimates are out on the floor. Kaluj going to turn that on borderline window, getting a two-piece on a Pizza Guru, and then Gilbert. Oh, man, 11 seconds on. It's all about the TP now. Can they get there? Whoever spawns in has got to do this fast. It may not be enough time unless they can find this touch. Speedily's holding on to an ultimate here, the only one on Envy, but I don't think it happens, and that will be the game and the series as Envy takes it home.
It's just tough. I just feel like the Hello just was not good, unfortunately. Bedtime Story, like, he tried. I don't even think it was his fault. I just feel like it's just literally comp diff. I mean, maybe just, honestly, that's the only takeaway I have. Like, they had a chance in the series if he maybe went back to the Psylocke, because he was doing well on Psylocke earlier on their defense, or just play Human Torch like a lot of teams would, right, with the team up and with how strong Human Torch still is. So, Envy winning 2-1, get themselves into that semifinal of their group, putting them only one series away from qualifying into the playoffs.
Yeah, gotta show some love over there, though. Really well done by Solaris. I mean, this was quite an underdog story, right? Like, you're facing potentially one of the top seeds in the entire tournament and still looked really good. Obviously, that last match looked a little more heavily favored towards Envy, especially almost holding them on 0.1, but just well played across the board. Some really strong performances from everybody over there. So, yeah, just well played.
Well played indeed. Right now, Envy still a team that is favored to go far, but after that series, I don't know, Ship. I mean, there's some question marks for sure. We'll have to talk to them, obviously, when we get to the interview segment. But man, what a day we've had so far today. Obviously, we'll wrap things up in a little bit after that interview. Envy finished off Solaris, like you said. There's a good shot. Solaris do well. They make waves in the lower bracket, right? And it's hard. This is the toughest group, right, for a lot of people. Everybody says that Group A is the group of death, and it's looking like that still is the case, as every team that's not even those top teams still looks pretty amazing too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Group A, obviously a ton of talent, and some teams that I maybe didn't think were going to stay up to par with some of this talent are doing the job. So it makes for an exciting next few days. I think that the games over the next few days, we're going to see far more pushing to game 3 like we did on this final set here. Is this the only game that shoved to 3 at this point? I can't even, my brain is mush, but what a series here. Yeah, I think it's the only game out of this whole America region that has pushed to that point.
Yeah, right now it's been sort of sweeps. Today it's been like closer sweeps, I would say. So, 2-0s across the board until this one leads to believe that tomorrow should be, those banger matchups, like you said, should be absolutely insane, as well as we have those teams that are win or go home. A lot on the line right now, specifically for first place, 70K. So you have to qualify for this playoffs. So all these teams competing for that end up prize pool. And like you said, Solaris, they put on a show, right? I'm sure everybody's proud of them for doing well, and I think this is a good meta for them too, right? You have characters like Emma Frost being Guru's, I would argue, best character, right? He's super good at that character, maybe also the Doctor Strange, and then also same thing for Gale. Gale is amazing at the Punisher. That's why I would say even into that matchup again, Cal is a great Punisher, but honestly, I would say the better of him. But the problem is, I don't think it matters as much how good you are at Punisher. It matters if you have a difference maker on Psylocke, like we saw with Speedily.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Psylocke was getting a ton of value. The Switch, I'm sure they have their reasons, right? So they have their decision making as to why they wanted to do that. But I mean, just an absolute insane series to end the night for us. We saw some upsets today. We saw FlyQuest, Ego. FlyQuest getting taken out by Ego. As we dive into the group stages here, you can see 100 Thieves versus Jobless Bums going to be what you witness coming up here over the next 2 days. Envy is going to be facing Ego Death. So this is just going, I mean, Group A is absolutely insane. LG versus Shikigami, Solaris and FlyQuest are now going to be the next series. And we saw how strong Solaris is. Can they get the job done and put the nail in the coffin on FlyQuest, who is an incredibly talented team? Just an absolute just a force of doom here on some of these teams that may have been considered maybe underdogs today. So gotta love what we're seeing in Group A.
Yeah, Group A is amazing, and we'll talk to one of the players from Team Envy in just a little bit. I believe we're gonna have Cal for the interview, and he's always a great interview, so let's talk to him right now. Let's just bring him in. Cal, welcome in to the interview, the winner interview with your match against Solaris. It was 2-1, man. How you feeling? You're looking vibey as ever, brother.
I'm doing great. That was fun. I got to play some new characters, a little Luna Snow action.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've always been kind of a fan of hit scan, man. One thing I need to know, and because I want your opinion on this too, when it comes into the Jeff NATO stuff on map 1, do you think that it is as busted as a lot of the people think it is, including myself? It seemed like you guys did everything right. It just wasn't quite working for you on that first map, and then things started turning around for you guys.
Yeah, I think I agree with the majority here. I think it's very, very, very OP, and it's a little Mickey Mouse type thing where it's kind of cheese, but it's not very good when the other team's also playing cheese, so we didn't really figure that out until the map is already over.
Touche.
I can hear the Canadian in your accent still, Cal. It's not been worked out of you from Gator, unfortunately. He's got to vocally train you maybe, but in that series,
yeah,
I mean, you played like a lot, like you said. Still working on it. But I mean, obviously, in that last map, I think you played some Punisher. I think, you know what, you're playing like against, honestly, not to say it, but it's like a Punisher one trick, right? In terms of Gale. Like, Gale plays a ton of Punisher, seriously. So, you know, for that matchup, did you feel anything in particular? Do you feel anything any which way about the character, or is it just kind of hard to sort of carry on this character? You have to kind of lead that sort of experience to, like, speedily to your Psylocke player who was doing a good job on those flanks.
I mean, the character's just broken. It's just you shoot the enemy. That's about it. But I will combat what you said. I think Gale isn't really a one trick. I think anything aim.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's
too
not
good at. But I think Punisher's definitely his strong suit, and it definitely showed in the map. I was struggling early on, but I kind of adapted to learning like what he does and how he's doing it. And on third point on attack, I noticed that he was pushing up a little bit too much when it was third go, and I guess that's kind of how we kept the third point.
Yeah, it's funny. He had mentioned that too. It was a great start there, and then you ended up, when you both popped Q and making the play there and taking him out while he was mid-all. It was just a good series of events for your team. You guys were just kind of all over it. But question I have for you, I've seen you on hit scan a lot, and man, it's always a show. It's good to watch. What are your thoughts here on Hela versus Punisher conversation? Obviously, Punisher heavily taking the choice advantage. So my thoughts are, or my question is to you, what do you think kind of puts him over? Is it the HP or is it the ult?
To be honest, I do think Hela's better, but I kind of refuse to play the character. I got to beat the Hela one-trick allegations, so I'm trying to stay clear from that.
I respect that, man.
Avoid the one trickage. I like that. Yeah, also, by the way, on that last one, you tried to play some Hawkeye, and it was actually doing pretty good on first point, but it just kind of, it was something you sopped off of, right? Eventually, is there what can you say about that new team up with the Luna Snow, with the Hawkeye? What's your take on that team up overall? Is it as like we said earlier with the Jeff NATO stuff? It seems to be there's a little bit of counterplay, or what's your overall take on this sort of Hawkeye Luna Snow thing? Is it situational?
Get it out of the game. That's about it.
Get it out of the game.
Like there's infinite range. You can instantly one shot somebody from across the map. It's a little too good. It's very fun though. I love playing it. I've been spamming ranked games playing it almost every game I can.
Oh. So why do you guys swap off of it then? Why is it not just a perma pick all the time? What's the problem?
Kind of because they're playing Sue, and so it's kind of hard for me to, if I only stun the other support, they'll shield it. And then, like I said with the third point thing, is on their goes they were kind of overextending a little bit and playing the fight faster than I'd want to on Hawkeye. And so I decided just take the mirror, see what we can do, and I guess it just worked out.
Yeah, we saw that utilization of the team up with the freeze into an immediate headshot. It was clean off the rip. It helped you guys get a ton of space. So I like what I was seeing there. I guess the final thing we've got, and something I want to bring up to you, and just your question is, do you got any major shout outs? Anyone you want to call out? Is there any team that you think you are worried about? Because you guys have been on a tear recently, looking really good. But I think this team, it showed some potential, especially on the domination off the rip.
I guess I'm thankful for my team for trusting me on characters that I don't normally play, and I guess for the team part, Ego Death, I think that they've been playing really well, and they definitely showed it today. I think their players are very strong individually, and they're finally bringing it together. And I hope to see Solaris actually knock out FlyQuest. I'm very excited to see that.
Love it, man. Appreciate you. Well, thank you so much as always, Cal. You're always like a pleasure to talk to, and thanks for the feedback and just the thoughts on some of these different team ups and such.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. See you, buddy.
Sir Cal, man. Sir Cal. He's just him. He's Timothy. He's just so good.
Yeah.
Flexible.
We've seen him
He even defended Gale. He says he's not a one trick. He just came out swinging. I'm like, all right, play.
I love it. Man, Switzerland out there. You know what I mean? But honestly, unless it comes to FlyQuest, I guess. But no, honestly,
well, no, it makes sense for him because like he wants FlyQuest to be gone now because if FlyQuest is out of the tournament already, you don't have to worry about him if they're such a good team, right?
True. No, I like that strategy. I mean, like I said, it's a lot about momentum and who's showing up on the day. Each one of these teams has had these moments where, you know, they seem unbeatable. There's compositions when they squeak through the ban phase that they are super comfortable with, and you get to see it. So I do think that Cal's definitely a jack of all trades. Seems to be playing a bunch of different heroes, but what an insane experience as we dive into the bracket, heading our way towards day 3 coming up here shortly.
Day number 3 will be coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m. PST. But before then, looking back at Group B Shib, we had Sentinels beat out Alani Wind. Finishing up this upper bracket right now, the gloves are off. The kitty gloves are off. If you lose in this lower bracket, you are going home. Well, you're already home, I guess, because it's an online tournament. But maybe things are going to get offline here pretty soon. So it's super exciting as this tournament is obviously going to lead to international play. Looking at today's matches, though, it was so good. I mean, top to bottom, it was 2-0s, but super close 2-0s, right? Shroud X Techie was a fun one. FlyQuest Ego Death was a 2-0, but for Ego Death.
Yeah.
So, incredible day around the board.
Yeah, I mean, technically upsets on 1 and 2, right? According to the seeding. So really well done, Nemesis and Ego. Ego surprised us all, I think, just with how clean they played as a unit. Obviously, we had a conversation with them, and they just seemed confident and secure in what they can do. Some crazy plays with things like Black Panther and Venom still getting a shining moment there. Just a lot more dive on that team. So very unique and awesome to see. It was a ton of fun today, man. Great casting with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. At this rate, people are getting tired of us, like, giving each other praise because it just happens too much, honestly. Let's take a look at tomorrow. Maybe we'll start hating each other's ship. That's what we should do. Open up tomorrow to start, or on Sunday, just absolutely frying each other. Obviously, tomorrow, Vicky, Kitty, and Cozy will be leading you off in the NA region. Tomorrow's match is going to be starting off with 100 Thieves and Jobless Bums, who I am excited to watch, considering they have a very interesting player coming back from vacation, known as Infamy. Meanwhile, Sentinels and Citadel Gaming playing against each other. Envy, Ego Death, that matchup we get to see. Cal gave them some credit in Team Nemesis versus Shroud X to end the day. X Ishikigami versus Shroud X. Gonna be a fun one, man. Tomorrow's gonna be so exciting.
Yeah, those are insane matches, dude. I'm excited to see Jobless up against a team like 100 Thieves. They really showcase what they could do day 1, and that is the ultimate test here. You know, some of the past champion couldn't be more of a test. So Sentinel's gonna be up there with Citadel too. Envy, Ego, that's gonna be an insane one. Cal obviously had that conversation. So man, I like what I'm seeing coming up here tomorrow. It's gonna be a ton of fun. You mentioned Vicky and Cozy going to be here. Great casters, awesome team. So it should be a blast to watch. You got to tune in here tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST, and catch the Americas region on day 3. What a series. What a bunch of games today, man.
Oh yeah, super fun. And you know what, this channel is also gonna be live in just a little bit with the, I believe it's Oceanic region first, right before the Asia region, I believe, in the Ignite series. So we'll see what happens. Make sure you come back if you want to watch those regions. There's some crazy stuff that happens in Oceanic. There's Mr. Fantastic being played and stuff. Crazy stuff. But tomorrow, like we said, we'll be back here at 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST with Vicky, Kitty, and Cozy. So make sure to come back tomorrow or later tonight. Catch you guys later.
Thanks for being here, everybody.